The clock read 11:23 p.m. I had reheated dinner for the third time and looked out the window. It was dark outside. Large snowflakes danced beautifully in the glow of the lonely street lamp. At the end of the empty street, I finally saw the familiar silhouette of my husband. I could tell just from his walk. Artyom was angry. There was no avoiding a conversation now. Apparently, some well-meaning people had already told him everything. Hoping to soften the blow, I set the table. The warm aroma of roasted meat filled the kitchen. The door slammed. I forced a smile and peeked into the hallway. "Tioma, finally! Where have you been?" I asked, pretending like this was just another ordinary day and I had no idea what was coming. He silently walked into the bathroom and turned on the shower. Click! The lock. Through the sound of running water, I heard his muffled voice. He was on the phone, hoping I wouldn't hear. My anxiety grew with every passing minute, and just when I thought it had peaked, Artyom entered the kitchen, sat down across from me, and looked me straight in the eyes. "Elena, why are you still sitting here? You should be packing your things. You're moving out." I couldn't tell if he was joking. His brown eyes were serious, no trace of a smile on his face. "Tioma, I know I've hurt you. Maybe I don't deserve forgiveness. But before I go, can we remember how it all began?" He stared at me like I was insane, and I closed my eyes and began. "Do you remember that train where we first met? It was a golden autumn. We ended up in the same carriage, same compartment. Our third companion was a grumpy old lady who fought with the conductor all night. We finally escaped to an empty compartment and stayed there talking until dawn. The train wasn't full, so the conductor let us stay in that compartment all the way to Krasnodar. 3 whole days. 3 days to fall in love. Though for me, it took 3 seconds. By the time we arrived, I couldn't bear to part with you. We agreed to take a walk that evening. You probably forgot, but today is the anniversary of that day." Artyom remained unmoved. The reason for all this was painfully simple. I had cheated. But we were adults. Infidelity feels like a tragedy when you're 15, maybe 20. Grown, mature people understand it's just a dark part of relationships. You're supposed to be careful. Somewhere along the line, I got careless. "Elena," he asked, "what were you missing?" "Why, him." "Him?" That was Alexander. Artyom's colleague, his rival. Always one step ahead. Better salary, more praise from the boss. And now, me. It started at a New Year's corporate party, the most magical time of year when wishes come true. I think I simply wished to feel loved again, to feel like a fragile woman in the arms of a strong man. Marriage never gave me that. And how many women live lonely lives within their marriages? The affair lasted just over 6 months. Secret meetings. Alexander was married too, with 2 adorable daughters. It could have lasted longer if fate hadn't intervened. Did I love my husband? Did I feel guilty? At the time, I was so happy I didn't think about those we were betraying. But now I was drowning in regret. Alexander and I had a tradition. Coffee at a gas station before I went home, and that's where it happened. Artyom pulled in to refuel. Through the panoramic windows, we were on display. I was sure he saw us. But he said nothing. That was 2 days ago. That night, he came home hours after me. Took a shower, said nothing. I foolishly thought it had blown over. The next day, he went to work like normal. But now, tonight, his eyes were different. And suddenly, I realized how terrified I was of losing him. "Pack your bags, Elena." Can't we talk? This is about Alexander, isn't it? You made a fool of me for 6 months. I spoke to him. He's waiting for you. That stopped me cold. Waiting? Where? Why? What about his wife? Did he leave her? Artyom disappeared into the bedroom. I peeked in and saw him throwing my clothes out of the closet, underwear, shirts, pants, dresses. I started folding them into the suitcase. I didn't want to make him angrier. I measured the distance to the front door with my eyes. How long would it take to open it? Then he grabbed the suitcase and furiously tried to zip it closed, even though it wasn't full. Failing, he dragged it to the door, grabbed my arm, and shoved the suitcase into the hallway. I realized if I didn't leave, I'd be next. I threw on my coat and boots and ran after it. "Alenka," Artyom called out softly. "Wait, I'll walk you to Sanya's. He's waiting." There was something wrong in his voice. Too calm, too kind. I turned and saw madness in his eyes, even though his tone was gentle. Who was this man I'd lived with for 10 years? Had he always been like this? I was afraid to be alone with him, but I was just as scared of Alexander. What did they agree on? Artyom gripped my wrist tightly and dragged me downstairs. His car wasn't in its usual spot. Another vehicle sat nearby, Alexander's, no lights. It looked empty. We approached. He opened the rear door and shoved me inside, then got behind the wheel. I tried to escape through the opposite door. Something soft and heavy blocked my way. The car sped off. In the flickering streetlight, I saw what it was. Alexander. "Artyom, stop the car! Where are you taking us?" "Somewhere you two can stay forever." I stared at Alexander's motionless body. My husband had made a decision, one that couldn't be appealed. Was this the end? Number I had to fight. I remembered a large wrench Artyom kept in the trunk. There was access through the rear seats. I climbed over Alexander's body, reached into the dark, and felt around. Got it. I gripped the wrench tightly. We were still in the city. If I could just stop the car, there was only one way. I swung with all my might and struck Artyom on the head. He screamed, let go of the wheel, and grabbed his head. The car swerved on the icy road. Then silence. We crashed into a snowbank. The engine stalled. I heard only my husband's groans. I unlocked the door. Freedom. As I got out, I heard another moan from behind me. Alexander, he was alive. But I had to run. I had to find help. I stepped into the cold, empty street, my body shaking with fear and frost. Then, headlights in the distance. Please, let that be salvation. God, what a terrifying price to pay for betrayal.